Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to go from being a sidekick to straight up rocking the superstar status? Well, I can tell you for free that it is exhilarating to say the least, and that's the story of Zendaya. You see, back in the day, she was just the cool, quirky best friend on Disney Channel. Of course, that was something on its own, but it was quite far from the main event that she undoubtedly craved. Fast forward a few years, and she's out here running the show like she's no man's business. From $10 million movie checks to red carpet queen to Euphoria icon, and oh yeah, she's literally the face of one of the biggest sci-fi franchises on the planet. But how did she flip the script like that? How did a Disney kid with slick dance moves and sitcom lines turn into Hollywood's most booked and beloved actress? If you must know, this ain't just glow-up energy. It's a masterclass in playing the long game, and Z executed with grace. So sit tight, because we're breaking down exactly how Zendaya went from Disney sidekick to the Dune Queen, making Hollywood bow down in awe. So before she was serving futuristic queen vibes in Dune or breaking the damn internet with Euphoria, Zendaya was rocking sparkly sneakers and hitting choreo on Disney Channel. Yeah, we're talking Shake It Up, that era where Disney had her boxed in as the goofy best friend with moves. Remember Rocky Blue? Of course you do. But what folks didn't clock back then, who was that Zendaya? She wasn't playing the long game, she was playing the game itself. From day one, Z wasn't just out here trying to be the cute one or another Disney puppet doing the PR smile. Nah, she was watching, learning, and taking notes while others were running lines. She was reading contracts. She was already moving differently. And get this, when Disney offered her KC undercover, she didn't just say yes, she said, cool, but I want executive producer credit. At 16! Like, what was she onto? Who else was doing that at that age? Yeah, you guessed right, nobody. Did you notice that the show featured a strong black family, and more than that, her character was smart, stylish, and not a walking stereotype? Yeah, that was all her too. She made it happen, and as a result, Disney gave her the mic and the power to remix the whole vibe, just as she wanted. You see, most child stars get stuck. They stay trapped in that Disney image, bubblegum, giggles, and laugh tracks. But Z? She dipped out with dignity, with vision, and with a plan. She knew that being the sidekick was never lacking, but she carried with it the hunger to break out when the time was right. She also knew not to rely solely on Disney's glow, which is why she started early to build a brand, a personal one. She dropped music, wrote a book, and started killing red carpets like she had been modeling for decades. And what made this even crazier was that this wasn't any happy accident. Rather, it was her blueprint. And let's not skip over the fact that being a young black woman in that Disney machine ain't all sunshine and theme songs. You gotta fight to be heard, to be seen, to matter. And Zendaya had to navigate all that. All that pressure to be perfect, the constant comparisons, the haters doubting her range. But she moved with grace and quiet confidence, and she never lashed out or had that messy tabloid art. She just kept leveling up. But that's not even all. You see, she had always possessed the gift to naturally punch lines, and you can hear it even in interviews from way back. She was already dropping gems where she talked about representation, about how young black girls deserve to see themselves as the main character. She saw herself as way more than just the comic relief or the token friend. And all while she was 15, 16? She was exhibiting wisdom beyond her years. And while fans were just vibing with the episodes, Zendaya was laying bricks for her empire. You can't talk with her success now without understanding how calculated and grounded she was during those Disney days. By the time she stepped away from Disney, she had everything under control, from her image to her career and her future. And as a bonus, she managed to stay spotless to the media and the public. No scandals or breakdowns whatsoever. So yeah, she might have started as the girl doing slick dance routines in a colorful studio with Bella Thorne, but don't get it twisted because this was just the cocoon. The butterfly was always coming. Yo, let's be real. Most Disney stars get stuck. The mouse gives you fame, sure, but that fame comes with a leash. And it's often hard to break out without people side-eyeing you like, oh, you're that kid from that show. But Zendaya? That was never going to be the case, as she snapped the leash early enough and never looked back. After Shake It Up, she could have easily coasted on that Disney energy. After all, she had the fan base, the fame, the clean image. and all the ingredients to keep doing light-hearted roles and racking up easy paychecks. But she wanted more. She wanted way more. Her first power move was Spider-Man: Homecoming. And guys, let's not act like MJ was supposed to be the scene stealer, because she wasn't. Heck, it was just another role in the shadows of the main character, just as she had played in her Disney days. But Z flipped the script. From her quiet, sarcastic eyes that watched everything to her undeniable charisma that commands attention, she had presence. Every time she popped up, it felt like, yo, this girl's cooking up something. It wasn't just comic relief, it was calculated minimalism. And of course, people noticed. Critics, directors, fans. In fact, everybody started whispering, hold up, she's different. Still, she wasn't done showing range, and it became more obvious when The Greatest Showman hit the screens, with Zendaya swinging from ropes like she was Tarzan with vocals. But none of that touched what was coming next. Euphoria. For Zendaya, the biggest break yet came in 2019 when she popped up on our screens again, this time as Rue Bennett in the hit series Euphoria. But Euphoria was hardly pretty. If anything, it was a war zone of trauma, addiction, and anxiety, love, and straight-up chaos. And Zendaya? Well, she stepped into it like she had nothing to lose. Rue wasn't glamorous, not even the slightest. She wasn't. She was messy, broken, raw, and Zendaya dove into it head first, not leaving any allowance for vanity or filters. Tell you what, Euphoria gave us some of the best natural characters we've seen in a while. And most of it featured Zendaya acting her soul out. And the world kept noticing. It's almost like you could live through her perspective and feel everything she felt with every silence between her words. Simply put, some actors perform emotions while others live them, and Zendaya falls well within the second category. It was even made more interesting by the fact that Euphoria had no glitter, no sidekick energy, no Disney smile. This was raw, dark, uncomfortable. And she bodied it. Like, completely flipped the script on what people thought she was capable of. Most folks were still stuck on KC, undercover Zendaya, when she pulled up in Euphoria. And overnight, she had everybody shook. Every tweet was like, wait, that's Zendaya? Well, you bet it is, and she was now in her full Emmy-winning glory. But again, it wasn't just about acting. She also boasted a certain level of impact that instantly blew up whatever project she touches. Take Euphoria, for instance. The series became the most tweeted about show after Game of Thrones, and it doesn't take too much imagination to know why. Or because of whom. Zendaya wasn't just leading a cast, she was leading a generation. The Gen Zs saw themselves in her. They saw the anxiety, the addiction, the trauma, the confusion. They saw all of it. But the good thing is that Zendaya didn't play Rue like a cautionary tale. She played her like a human with no filters and no sugarcoating. Z was pure class, and it became even more evident when she snatched that Emmy for lead actress and became the youngest ever to win it. Historic! And just to flex harder, she went ahead to win another one in 2022 for good measures. Here she is, a two-time Emmy queen, winning it back-to-back like she's Drake in his prime. And let's not ignore the fashion and aesthetic of the show, because from Rue's oversized fits to Jules' glitter tears, Euphoria became a whole vibe. TikTok trends, makeup lines, Instagram edits. Everybody and their cousin were trying to dress like an extra on Euphoria, and no questions about who was the face of it all. But here's what really makes this moment so legendary. Euphoria made Zendaya more than just a star. It made her an artist. She started executive producing, calling shots behind the scenes, and working closely with Sam Levinson on Rue's story. She wasn't just showing up to act, she was shaping the narrative. And in doing so, she opened doors for herself, for young black actresses, for former child stars, and for anyone who ever got boxed in. Zendaya said, nah, I'm not just one thing. And now, she's absolutely everything. The Emmy win? That wasn't a fluke. It was validation. But even with the gold in her hand, she kept pushing. Didn't slow down, didn't start playing it safe. Nah, she doubled down. Next, Malcolm and Marie. Now, if you ever thought a black and white film with two actors, one house, and all vibes would be a hard concept to grasp, it's because it is. But Zendaya made it all look simple. Back and forth with John David Washington like a pro, she bounced between rage, hurt, love, and pride in one breath. It was art house, but with swagger. She wasn't just showing she could act. She was flexing different muscles, unapologetically. But she didn't reject her Disney past. She repurposed it into a foundation, not the ceiling. Every role since has been louder, bolder, and deeper, with the fans growing with her. Now, to shift gears and bring the whole fan base along for the ride, that's rare. It's something you don't come across every other day. So yeah, by the time Dune came knocking, it wasn't a question of, can she do it? It was more like, why haven't they given her the crown already? Zendaya went from a sitcom sidekick to a force of nature, from dancing with Bella Thorne to dancing through serious scripts. Now here's something no one saw coming. A once Disney kid, now leading the charge in one of the biggest sci-fi blockbusters of the decade, Dune 2. And guess what? She ain't just playing sidekick anymore. Zendaya pulled up as Chani, a Fremen warrior with heart, grit, and those desert survival instincts that make her straight up magnetic on screen. But here's the real kicker. Sis bagged $10 million for this role. That's 8 figures right there with no decimal and no cap. But of course, it wasn't without a bit of a panic. See, when Dune 1 dropped, fans were hyped to see Zendaya all over the trailer, only to find out she was in the movie for like 7 minutes total. Yeah, people felt a little played. But then again, that wasn't just any cameo. It was a grand setup. Director Denis Villeneuve always had big plans for her in Part 2, and he made it known from the very beginning. He said Zendaya was going to be the soul of the sequel, and bruh, she delivered. In Dune 2, Chani was a whole force, with a character that fiercely led battles, challenged the system, and pushed Paul to stay grounded whenever the power started getting to his head. Zendaya took that character and made her raw, real, and layered. Now that's the kind of performance that makes casting directors drool and award voters take notes. Let's talk about the bag. That $10 million paycheck, it wasn't just about screen time. That was Zendaya putting years of work into building her name and showing studios that she pulls crowds. Between Euphoria, her fashion icon status, and the global buzz she brings, Warner Brothers knew they weren't just paying for a role. They were paying for Zendaya, trademark, which is a world-famous brand. Behind the scenes, she wasn't just clocking in and dipping. Zendaya was all in. Training for action scenes, doing press tours, working that red carpet like royalty. And let's be real, every photo of at a Dune 2 premiere broke the timeline. She showed up in full sci-fi glam, giving Fremen warrior 1 minute and intergalactic supermodel the next. And you know what really makes this moment wild? She earned that $10 million without doing the most. No scandals and no clout-chasing drama. Just talent, consistency, and making every move with precision. When some folks are out here begging for viral moments, Zendaya built an empire off of chill dominance. That's rare. Critics couldn't stop raving either. From Variety to Rolling Stone, the reviews were packed with praise for her performance. Some even said she outshined the lead. And fans? Oh, fans were literally losing their minds. Chani stands popped out in full force, screaming for more screen time and even demanding a Dune spin-off focused just on her. And if you're still thinking this was a one-off win, don't play yourself, because that $10 million is just the beginning. Zendaya's production company is moving. Her name stays ringing in award circuits, and the bag keeps getting bigger. Again, this was no coincidence. It was a calculated climb, a slow burn to the top done with poise and power. The Disney days? That was just the intro. The Dune era, that's Zendaya in her final form, a blockbuster queen with her own gravity. For Z, the style, the influence, and the brand power always went hand in hand as the holy trinity that turned her from actress to global icon. First off, let's talk style. Zendaya don't follow trends, she sets them. Fashion-wise, she's a damn chameleon, giving old Hollywood glam in Valentino on one day and futuristic mugglers straight out a sci-fi dream on the next. No matter the event, Zendaya showed up looking like she invented the drip. And of course, there's no ignoring the big role that La Roche played in all of this. So big shout out to the mastermind stylist behind a lot of her viral looks. Together, they've both been an unstoppable duo, turning necks and stealing remarks effortlessly. Take the Cinderella dress at the Met Gala on that metallic armored robot look, for example. Those are straight-up cultural moments. It's no wonder people don't just watch Zendaya on the red carpet, they study her. Now slide into her influence, and we're talking numbers. Zendaya is not just a celeb, she's a movement. Over 180 million followers across platforms, brand deals with every major name from Lancôme to Bulgari, and the power to crash timelines with a single selfie. It's like the internet moves whenever she posts, and that's unrivaled star power right there. She drops one trailer, it trends. She posts one outfit, it's the next viral style. She appears in one interview, the girls are quoting her for weeks. Guys, that's not clout, it's command. But here's where it even gets more impressive. See, unlike the clout chasers that go around chasing controversies and beefing on socials to make headlines, her influence comes without the extra baggage. So effortless, the way she thrives on authenticity, sheer consistency, and just being herself. That's why she's almost got that god quality among Gen Zs, loved by millennials, and the boomers. Well, they can't help but tip their hats in respect. Now let's talk brand power. Zendaya isn't just collecting checks. She's building equity and partnering with luxury brands on her own terms. Executive producing Euphoria, developing original projects with her production company. This ain't just acting, it's ownership. And you see the way brands treat her? That's not brand ambassador status, it's muse status. When luxury fashion houses design whole collections around your vibe, yeah, you transcended influencer level. You're in icon territory. Zendaya's name alone brings in value. Whatever she touches turns into gold, figuratively of course. And whenever she walks into a room, everything automatically becomes that bit more valuable. Whether it's a magazine cover, a fragrance drop, or a fashion campaign, her presence raises the stakes and commands value. This is why she's already sitting pretty on Time's most influential lists and Forbes' highest paid actress lists, all before hitting 30. To sum it up, Zendaya isn't just stylish, she is the style. She isn't just influential, she drives culture. And when it comes to brand power, she's not riding any wave, she's the one causing the tide. Of course, Zendaya already sitting on $10 million plus bags from projects like Dune 2, Euphoria, and brand collabs has made it crystal clear that she's not just here to act pretty on screen. Nah, she's here to run things. She's already wearing the executive producer hat like a crown. With Euphoria, she stepped into more than just Rue sneakers. She helped shape the story behind the scenes. Malcolm and Marie, that entire project was her brainchild during lockdown. Filmed in secret and with a skeleton crew, and shot in black and white like a classic art house piece. She co-produced it and played lead opposite John David Washington like it was nothing. According to reports, Gen Z is already building her own production empire, with the aim of telling those diverse stories that Hollywood tends to overlook. You know, like the new generation Reese Witherspoon, only cooler, more connected to Gen Z, and rocking custom Valentino while doing it. She's already shown that she got the taste, the range, and the influence, all qualities that go hard in the industry and the world at large. But get this, her influence didn't just grow overnight, it was slow and calculated. It wasn't as easy as it seemed. You see, while Euphoria changed the game for Zendaya, it wasn't just another high school drama, it was quite the opposite. And a huge part of why it hit so hard was Zendaya's performance. She took Rue Bennett from a troubled teen to a deeply complex, soul-stirring character that earned her 2 Emmy wins and made her the youngest ever to do it. Now, Season 3 is in the works, even though delays have been testing everyone's patience. Moreover, with her name already etched into sci-fi royalty with Dune, it's no surprise that she's eyeing more cinematic territory. There's buzz about her leading a Ronnie Spector biopic, and thoughts of Zendaya channeling 60s soul and rocking beehive hair and singing vintage hits is already putting fans at the edge of their seats. Also, with studios already aware she brings box office appeal and critical acclaim, it's no surprise that she's linked to several unannounced film projects. And with the way she body bags every role she touches, expect at least one Oscar-worthy performance in the next few years. Since she's already got Emmys, Oscars might just be next. Now let's talk style. Zendaya's fashion game is in another universe. She's not just dressing well, She's defining red carpet eras. Her Met Gala looks are instant classics, and her collaboration with Law Roach has been nothing short of legendary. Even when she's doing press for Dune, she's giving custom Mugler looks that belong in a museum. But here's something else to look out for: her own fashion line. She's already got brand deals with Louis Vuitton, Bulgari, and Lancome, but her next move could be ownership, not just with endorsements. And best believe the fashion world is watching. Outside of acting and fashion, Zendaya is on the verge of full mogul status. Think skincare lines, tech collabs, sustainability ventures. You just know whatever she touches next will be intentional, cool, and inspiring. She's already a Gen Z role model without trying, and she's known for staying private, staying grounded, and staying real. No scandals, no messy headlines, just straight talent, hard work, and vibes. That type of brand image is gold, and companies will continue throwing bags at her. Only now, she'll probably want equity too. And if she ever decides to get into directing, bruh, it's a wrap. She has already made it clear that she fancies the director's hat and would like to put it on someday, sooner or later. It's also clear that she'd do a hell of a job if she eventually makes the shift because, as we can already see from her cinematic performances, she has the eye for it. Bottom line, well, the next chapter for Z is most likely a full-on takeover rather than just a mere glow-up. And it already has all the right ingredients to be explosive. She's no longer the Disney sidekick. She's the main event, the one calling the shots, the producer, the style icon, and the voice of a generation all rolled into one. One look at Gen Z now, and you don't see a Disney sidekick no more. You see a red carpet assassin, an Emmy-winning powerhouse, and Dune royalty with the swagger to make the entire industry stop and pay attention. She's definitely come a long way, but don't even think she rode the Hollywood wave because she didn't. If anything, she completely changed the game, charted her own part, and made it a blockbuster at that. What's more, she stays original and authentic to the core. No gimmicks or clout chasing, just straight hustle and raw talent, all while she's still in her 20s. Let that sink in. Now the bags are getting bigger, the roles are getting deeper, and it's absolutely easy to see why. And the world? Yeah, it's watching her every move and cheering her on like she's making a run for a championship winning touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, Zendaya didn't just break out of the Disney box. She torched it and left the stereotype in ashes. So, if you've ever doubted how far she'd go, just scroll back through the tape for all the conviction you need. From awkward BFF roles to carrying entire shows, and then to being the face of billion-dollar franchises and high-fashion campaigns, the resume speaks for itself. Oh, and you can trust that this ain't the peak. It's just the beginning. One thing is clear, Zendaya's era is now. And if you ain't paying attention, you will be soon. Big Z energy, always.